do I communicate? Language. So through language we understand the other person, and the brain gives different meanings to the words that are listened by us. So in communication we use language, whether it is a sign language or a spoken language, and this is called linguistics. The third is programming. Now the first two are automatic. We have been born with some sensations. We came into this world, the first touch, the first taste, the first sound we hear, the brain started getting into different, developing different softwares. At the time we are born, there are about 200 softwares already installed. Just as you buy a branded computer, it has a pre-installed software, 200 softwares. Now these 200 softwares are basically for digestion, excretion, elimination, absorption, circulation, respiration, the entire system. But the immune system at the time of birth is not programmed. There are 200 softwares that are responsible for keeping the child alive. That's it. Other than that, the first touch, the first smell, we start getting programmed. Now this is something that was never in our control, and even today, we may be on a very senior position, controlling a lot of people, making a lot of money, but unfortunately, this is not in your hand. You cannot program yourself. You cannot reprogram yourself. You have already been programmed. So whatever you are, wherever you are, you have a fixed personality. You have a fixed way of looking at things. You have a fixed way of doing it. Right or wrong, good or bad, doesn't matter. But this is fixed. This too is automatic. You're talking to me, you say something, the words come into my ears, my brain brings out meaning as well as feelings. And based on those feelings and emotions and the meaning of the words, I respond to you. So this is how communication takes place. Right? This programming is when we can detach the meaning from words, or detach the emotions from the words, or give it a different meaning which is not already there in our brain, is what is called programming. Which means nobody can bother you if you don't want to be bothered. Nobody can bully you if you don't want to be bullied. You can take out the most positive part from a negative comment if you want to. That's where programming comes in. We'll talk about it as we go ahead. Next. Now, when we talk of NLP, we are talking about possibilities beyond current limitations. Now, throughout our lives at different age, we have limitations. Unless you crawl, you cannot sit. When you sit, only then you can stand. When you stand, only then you can walk. When you walk, only then you can run. So there are always limitations. And throughout our lives, we have limitations. NLP is going beyond those limitations. The limitations that have been imposed by you because of the earlier programming that has been given to you, on which you never had any control. Next. Now, some of the things that we talk about in NLP, these are the subjects. What is NLP? What are the pathways of NLP? Reasons of NLP? Basis of NLP? How does NLP work? Return on investment. For example, NLP is basically an investment. Organizations, I've done the most, 3 organizations that have taken huge training and number of trainings and over a longer period of time. One was United Bank. When they changed completely the new logo of UBL, the new environment, the new collectors, because we trained 200 managers of UBL all over Pakistan and the entire top management, including the president of UBL, into NLP, and they changed everything. The other organizations that we have massively taught and they've invested a lot was heard about NESCOM, NDC, the guys who made the missile, Shaheen missile, Gauri missile. We have trained all the scientists, all the managing people into NLP, and they had remarkable results. Applications of NLP, in what areas do you apply NLP, what are the tools of NLP, etc. So we'll go on next. Now, in order to understand what I'm talking about, just understand this slide. This is the basic concept of how things work. We have been told by Newton that to every action there is equal and opposite reaction, right? Newton's second law of motion. Now something very similar. Every stimulus causes a response. Every stimulus. And the response is basically a result. For example, you say something to me, that's a stimulus. Now I respond in a certain way, and my response becomes a certain result. So for example, you say, Assalamu alaikum, how are you? And I say, Wa alaikum assalam, I am great. So the result is that we have an affinity, we have a relationship, we are both in cordial terms. That's a result. Every stimulus causes a response. Now either the response could be you kept quiet, that's the response, or you reacted, that's the response, or you acted, that's the response. But we respond whether we are quiet, it's verbal or non-verbal, and every response is actually a result. Okay? Now stimulus is not in your control. How the market fluctuates, it is not in your control. How your wife behaves at home, not in your control. Right?
Really?
It's not in your control. How your bosses deal with you, not in your control. You delegate responsibility to your team. The way they carry out that responsibility, the moment you say go, then everything else is not in your control until they come back to you with results. Nothing else is in your control. So stimulus is not in our control. The stimulus is environment. The loud noise on the street, the rickshaws, the sound, the news on television, the breaking news, none of it is in our control. Every moment there are millions and millions of stimulus in the environment bombarded towards us all the time. The smell in a room, you enter a room and there's a particular kind of smell, that's again is a stimulus. Somebody is wearing a perfume, that's a stimulus. You instantly respond to that smell. Similarly, food, the moment the food comes in front of you, there is a certain response to that. Okay? So there are 5 kinds of stimulus. It's visual, you see something; auditory, you hear something; kinesthetic, you touch or feel; gustatory, you taste something; and olfactory, you smell something. There are 5 kinds of stimulus, and all the time we do not control those stimulus. So every stimulus causes us to respond in a certain way. The problem is this response is not in our control, because this response is connected with our programming. We will always respond the way we have been programmed. So response is not in our control. That's why people tend to get angry. People cannot fix up priorities in their life. People procrastinate. People do not come on time. They have a difficulty in time management. Why? Because they have been programmed like that. So our response is not in our control, because this response is directly connected with the programming. The programming was not in our control, so how could the response be in our control? Now if you could control this response, you can have the result that you want. You can have the desired result, the way you want. Is this clear? Every stimulus causes a response. Yes?
So I have a question. When you talk about the response, I mean in a layman's language or layman's thing, can this be correlate with the behavior?
Yeah, response is always a behavior.
But
Yes.
if someone won't